Got a public hearing here on March 9th, 2020. Close out of the owner-occupied housing and rehab for Ochre Grant Project. We have a representative from Ochre here.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Audrey Conlon with Southern Indiana Development Commission, and just doing the required second public hearing. And I've passed a sign-in sheet around, and it's just stating that you're here present for the public hearing. And I'll go ahead and turn on the tape recorder. Okay. March 9th, 6:30, Washington City Council meeting. Can everybody hear me okay? The meeting was advertised in compliance with Indiana Code IC 5-3-1, and the meeting was advertised in the Washington Times-Herald on February 27th of 2020. The purpose of the meeting is to receive comments and/or concerns regarding the city's owner-occupied rehabilitation project that took place in the city limits. The project provided assistance to 7 housing units. The total grant amount from the Indiana Housing and Community Development Authority was $175,180. The city provided $17,800 that served as matching funds for the project. The type of work that was completed on the housing units included windows, roofing, heating, plumbing, AC, electric, etc. 2 contractors from Greene County worked on the 7 housing units. All 7 homes have been completed, and IHCDA is conducting its inspection on 4 of the homes on March 17th. Any identified deficiencies will be addressed by the contractor responsible. The remaining 3 housing units have already gone through the IHCDA inspection process. At this time, if anybody has any comments, questions, or concerns regarding the project. Okay. We can adjourn the public hearing at 6:31.
Okay.
Thank
Very
you.
good, thank you. Okay, prior to the meeting, we're going to have a swearing-in ceremony of the newest firefighter. I guess, there he is. I guess he's here. Hope so. I'll go around this way. I won't knock the camera over. Promise. Okay, we got the newest firefighter from the Washington Fire Department here tonight, Darwin Flagel. So we're going to give the oath of office. If you'd raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Darwin Flagel.
I, Darwin Flagel,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I support the Constitution of the United States
that I support the Constitution of the United
and the
States
Constitution of the State of Indiana,
and the Constitution of the State of Indiana,
and that I will faithfully,
faithfully,
honestly,
honestly,
impartially discharge the duties
impartially discharge the duties
of firefighter of the City of Washington,
of firefighter of the City of Washington,
according to law and the best of my ability.
according to the law and the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
I need 2 papers now. I want you to tell the crowd a little bit about yourself, and then go around and meet the council members when you're done. And we'll give you one of those, and we'll keep one. Okay. There you go. All right, yeah, go ahead and tell them a little bit about yourself.
All right, good evening. My name is Darwin Flagel. A little bit about myself. I grew up in Franklin County, Pennsylvania, about an hour south of Harrisburg, if y'all know where that is.
Fine.
In 2009, my family moved here to Washington. I stayed back and recently moved out here about 18 months ago, a little over 18 months ago. I currently own a farm here in Daviess County, so that keeps me fairly busy. Excited for the new opportunity to serve the City of Washington. And I love to hunt and fish, love the outdoors, so that's about sums it up for me.
Okay.
How we doing?
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay, yeah, there you go. Very good, thank you. Okay. We're gonna call this meeting to order on March 9th, 2020, 6:30, City of Washington Common Council. Maybe have a moment of silence for our veterans, please. Thank you. Pledge allegiance, please.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, can we have roll call, please?
Councilman Lunsford.
Here.
Councilman Brand.
Here.
Councilman Grass.
Here.
Councilman Campton.
Here.
Councilman Emmons.
Here.
Councilman Dahl.
Here.
Councilman Showalter.
Here.
Okay, show it to the record that everybody's present. We got approval of minutes for the February 24th, 2020 regular meeting in front of you. Everybody had a chance to look at these minutes? And if there's no changes or additions or anything, can I have a motion to approve, please?
So moved.
Second.
Second, Councilman Dahl and Councilman Brown seconds it. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Okay, we got in front of you, we got the claims, a written presentation of the claims in front of you. If there's any questions on these claims? Okay, hearing none, can I have a motion to approve these claims, or move these claims to the Board of Works for final approval? Okay, Councilman Emmons.
Second.
Second, Councilman Lunsford. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. None opposed, thank you. Comments from the members of the public, anything on it that's not on the council agenda for tonight? Anybody have any comments?
I have something.
Okay,
Sorry. Jerry Sidebottom just got here.
okay.
The house on Van Trees, Godfrey's house,
Oh, yes.
are they trying to rebuild it?
No, they're actually taking it apart.
Well, I know, I just seen some new wood on the sides.
I went down there the other day and they was taking it.
On the roof, I meant.
It looked like he was taking it apart the other day when I went by there.
That's what I
But-
thought too, but whenever I drove by, I seen new wood on the
Oh.
edges there. I said, wait a minute, that ain't right.
Yeah, we had that hearing on it, and I forget, they had
April 1st.
April 1st to get it done, and it looks like they're moving on, so hopefully they'll continue and we won't have to readdress that.
All right, thank
Okay,
you.
thank you. Anybody else have any comments? Okay, good. Hearing none, we'll move on. Brian Niehoff was on the agenda for tonight, but he's had an illness, and he asked if we'd move that, his presentation to the next meeting on the 23rd. So we're gonna put him on the agenda for the 23rd, instead of tonight for his, annual report. Okay, and resolutions, we have one resolution. Can I have a motion to introduce this, resolution, please? Resolution, 6-20, authorizing a transfer of funds in the mayor's budget.
So moved.
Second.
Councilman Dahl, and then Councilman Brown seconds it. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you.
Resolution number 6-2020, transfer that the common council contemplating the meeting of certain emergencies does hereby consider and determine to expend and to transfer certain funds from one major classification of the published budget of said city of Washington for 2020 to another major classification, to Fund 101 General Mayor, from Section 100 Salaries and Wages, $18,000, to Section 640 Machinery, Furniture, and Equipment, $18,000, for a total transfer of $18,000, This resolution shall be in force and effect from and after its passage, passed in council this 9th day of March 2020.
Okay, this is in my budget, of course, and the mayor's vehicle, we're gonna update that to something a little bit bigger than what the mayor had. So that's what the money, I'm requesting to transfer the money from one account to the other, one fund to the other. Anybody have any questions on it? Can I have a motion to adopt this resolution, please?
I'll make a motion to adopt it.
Councilman Gress, Councilman Emmons seconds it. We need a voice, roll call vote on this at least.
Councilman Lunsford. Councilman Brown.
Aye.
Aye.
Sound like a night from here.
Yeah,
Wow.
I thought it was gonna be short.
Councilman Grass.
Aye.
Councilman Campbell.
Aye.
Councilman Emmons.
Aye.
Councilman Dahl.
Aye.
Councilman Showalter.
Aye.
Okay. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. We have we have a couple ordinances. We have, first ordinance, we have an introduction of ordinance 2-2020. Can I have a motion to introduce this ordinance 2-2020, please?
So moved.
Councilman Brown and Councilman, was it, which one, Dahl?
No.
Seconds it, thank you. Do we need a voice vote before the reading?
No, not for that, just.
Okay. All right, can we again, please?
Ordinance number 2-2020, appropriation ordinance, City of Washington, Indiana. Whereas the Common Council of the City of Washington, Indiana has determined to purchase equipment consisting of 9 police vehicles, and whereas the Common Council has determined to enter into a loan with a financial institution in the principal amount not to exceed $312,700 to pay for the purchase of the equipment, and whereas there has been published a notice of a public hearing on the appropriations of the proceeds of the loan to be held on this date, the hearing has been held and the Common Council has considered the evidence presented at the hearing, and whereas the Common Council now finds that the city does not have sufficient funds available or provided for in the existing budget and tax levy to fund the purchase of the equipment. Now therefore be it ordained by the Common Council of the City of Washington, Indiana that Section 1, the Common Council finds that all proceedings required for the appropriation of the proceeds of the loan have been accomplished and completed. Section 2, for the purpose of paying the purchase of the equipment, an amount not to exceed $312,700 shall be appropriated from the proceeds of the loan. Section 3, the clerk treasurer is directed to submit and certify this ordinance and the related proceedings to the Department of Local Government Finance in accordance with Indiana Code 6-1.1-18-5. Section 4, this ordinance shall be in full force and effect from and after its passage and execution by the mayor, passed and adopted this blank day of blank 2020.
Okay, are there any questions or comments regarding this ordinance?
My question is, we're doing this because we're taking out the loan, not, we already have a budgeted amount for a payment. I just want to make sure.
And our first payment won't be till March of next year.
So the money we budgeted this year.
We have to appropriate the money that we borrowed.
Okay.
And that's
And then that's
it's
what that,
for.
okay. Just want to make sure.
Yeah.
So just for the public, could you elaborate on what we're buying?
These are the police cars. These are the, all 8 of the police cars, right?
9 of them.
9 of them, yes.
With the
We-
van.
Yeah, we had,
No van.
no,
What we decided,
there is 9, no.
one of our vehicles got totaled January 4th.
Yeah.
It was, guy ran a stop sign, smacked right inside the vehicle, twisted the frame, totaled out the vehicle. So, talking to Beth, it was decided that it was probably the easiest to get that vehicle replaced was just, since we didn't have these loans yet, just to go ahead and put it on the loan and just add that vehicle. Because, you know, you never get we got X amount out of the vehicle, but you never get the full amount out of it. So she just thought it'd be easier just to put that vehicle on with this and go that route.
So what are you just gonna get another Dodge or Ford?
Another Dodge.
Another Dodge, so you
Yeah.
got 5 Dodges.
Yeah, 5 and Ford. The Fords ain't gonna be in any time, but we went ahead and got the loan. She got the loan secured, I believe it's, with a firm here in town. That was the lowest bid, and then we'll be ready to go. And like I said, our first payment won't be till March of next year, that we requested that, so we'll have money in next year's budget to make the, annual payments.
Yeah, this is what we do every 5 years, but I don't ever remember this appropriation.
No, it's new.
It's new.
Yeah.
Some things have changed.
Yeah, I'd say before we just had it budgeted for the payment, and
Right.
of course, we did like the lease, $100 at the end, but, so this is kind of
Well,
different.
we're still doing that.
Still gonna do the
But we
lease
also
kind of
have to
thing,
do this
but we're calling it a
because
loan.
we-
Okay, all right.
Well-
Yeah.
That's what confused me, because I
Yeah.
don't remember doing this.
Um, but no matter what she said, my understanding is lease or loan,
You have to
we
incur
have
the debt.
to appropriate the loan lease proceeds, even though we've
Right.
never seen it. You know, it went directly to the vendors, but they said that this is,
Pretty much what was dictated by the state board.
yes,
Yeah.
you shall do
Yeah,
this.
she,
Okay.
yeah,
And
she-
I would say we didn't in the past, it's just like
yeah, it's
confusing.
kind of something new, and she wanted to make sure, she talked to them and make sure she got everything.
I'm cool with
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
I'm a yes for that. Not an aye.
And nay, yeah. Okay, any other comments or questions? Okay,
There'll be a public hearing before the next meeting.
Yes.
What that language is about.
yes, and this ordinance will be up for adoption at the next council meeting. Okay, now we got an introduction of ordinance 3-2020. Have a motion to introduce this ordinance, please.
I move we read ordinance 3/2020.
Okay, Councilman Dahl,
I'll second it.
Councilman Campton seconds it, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Yes.
All right, ordinance number 3-2020, an ordinance of the city of Washington authorizing the execution and delivery of the fourth amendatory agreement to the power sales contract between Indiana Municipal Power Agency and the city of Washington and other matters connected therewith. Whereas the city of Washington is a municipality owning and operating on January 1, 1980, an electric utility which furnished electric service to the public and purchased electric power from public utilities. And whereas the member is required by law to provide its customers with an adequate, reliable, and economic supply of electric power and energy, but has determined that individually it is not financially capable of providing the planning, financing, locating, and building of needed new facilities for generation and transmission to satisfy future requirements of its customers. And whereas based upon its obligations to serve its customers and the above considerations, the member determined that it was in its best interest to join with other municipalities in the state of Indiana as a member of the Indiana Municipal Power Agency for the purpose of undertaking the planning, financing, ownership, and operation of a project or projects to supply electric power and energy for its needs. And whereas the agency and the member entered into and have carried out their respective obligations under the contract creating the agency and power sales contract as heretofore amended and supplemented, each between the member and the agency attached hereto and made a part hereof. And whereas under the power sales contract, the agency agreed to sell and deliver to the member, and the member agreed to purchase and receive from the agency all electric power and energy which the member required for the operation of its municipal electric system for a term expiring April 1, 2042. And whereas the agency plans for its power supply on a 30-year timeline and the power supply resources considered can take 5 to 10 years or more for development and construction with useful lives of decades longer. And whereas changing public opinions and government regulations relating to climate change and carbon dioxide emissions require that the agency be able to adjust its power supply portfolio as the need arises. And whereas major new power supply resources would require the issuance of debt with a long-term, at least 30 years amortization of debt service and associated costs to provide the most economic and reliable power supply to member and other members of the agency. And whereas it is in the best interest of the agency and the member to amend the contract, as well as the power sales contracts the agency has entered with other members of the agency, to extend the existing term to April 1, 2050, with a 30-year notice of termination that would allow the agency the discretion to issue new debt with a long-term amortization if necessary. And whereas the original contracts and the amendment marked as Exhibit A are attached hereto, incorporated herein by reference, and 2 copies of each are on file in the office of the clerk treasurer for public inspection pursuant to Indiana Code 36-1-5-4. And whereas member desires to amend the power sales contract to extend the term in the manner described above, and whereas representatives of the member have reviewed the original contracts and the amendment and have obtained independent advice and counsel with respect thereto where appropriate, and the member has had the opportunity to review the original contracts and the amendment with the agency, and whereas based upon the foregoing facts, the member by this ordinance hereby finds and determines to ratify the original contracts and approve the amendment. Now therefore be it ordained by the common council of the member, Section 1, the findings and determinations set forth in the preambles to this ordinance are hereby made findings and determinations of the member. Section 2, by this ordinance, the entry of the member into the original contracts and its performance of the terms and conditions thereof are hereby ratified and confirmed. The member is authorized pursuant to this ordinance, A, to enter into the amendment in substantially the form attached hereto as Exhibit A, and B, to be bound by the terms and conditions of the original contracts as supplemented and amended by the amendment, as further supplemented from time to time, the bylaws of the agency and such other lawful actions as may be heretofore have been taken by the Board of Commissioners of the agency. Section 3, by this ordinance, the mayor of the city of Washington is hereby authorized and directed to execute and deliver, and the clerk treasurer is hereby authorized to attest and seal the amendment. Section 4, all ordinances and parts of ordinances in conflict herewith are hereby repealed. Section 5, this ordinance shall be in full force and effect from and after its passage. Passed and adopted by the Common Council of the City of Washington, Indiana, this blank day, March 2020.
Is there any questions or comments regarding this ordinance? This is, like I said, we entered into this 1980 for 42 years, and we adjusted this one other time. I forget exactly what year we adjusted this.
2007.
2007. But now we've asked, IMPA came to us and asked if we'd extend our contract with them, our agreement with them, and there's no fees to go along with this. This is just something that be just agreement that we renewed. So we bring it to you for your approval on the. And this will come up for adoption in the next council meeting. But anybody have any?
And they will have a representative here too.
Yes, the 23rd year. They're going to have a representative to explain the process, explain more of this to you on the 23rd. And we just thought we'd go ahead and introduce it tonight, and then we can vote on it at the next meeting after their presentation.
Are they wanting to borrow money or something? Is that why we need to extend it right now?
They actually asked to extend it 2 years ago.
Is that right?
I'm just curious, because I figured when they go to borrow, they'll have to have a 30-year agreement in place again.
I don't know why we didn't, they just kept getting put on the back burner. Not all the communities have done it, I'm the commissioner, and there's like 17 of them that have passed it so far.
I think they're going around everybody.
So they just want to, no real deed.
Yeah, but we're only extended it 8 years, but the biggest thing is the 30-year out.
They've got a couple of coal-fired plants that are shutting down, so they are scrambling for alternatives. And
That's why I thought maybe they were
Yeah.
borrowing money,
Yeah.
that's why they needed an extension.
They might have to do something with the IPNL plant possibly shutting down here in, I think, 24 or 26, I forget what year exactly. And then a couple other things going on. They're, I'm sure they gotta, like I say, do some alternate research on this and see what the alternate sources. So, anybody else got any questions on this? If none, there, like I said, this ordinance will be up for adoption next council meeting. Okay, under other business, it's not on the agenda, but Richard has a request for the council, and he can explain it better than I can. Richard?
Good evening. I'm here tonight for the wastewater treatment
plant improvements on the phosphorus removal. We've talked about that for several months now. Plans and specifications are complete, and I'm asking for your authorization to advertise for bids. If you so grant that, we would receive bids on April 13th at 6:30 PM. That's your regular scheduled meeting. We will have a pre-bid meeting on March 31st. That's where myself and Scott and the mayor, if he wants to, will sit down and invite the contractors who are interested, answer any questions they may have. After you receive the bids on the 13th, I will come back before you on the 27th of April at your regular scheduled meeting at 6:30 to make a recommendation regarding the bids. And at that point, if you so approve the bids, SIDC will take those documents, submit them to Okra. Okra reviews everything, and then upon their approval, I would come back to you on May 11th to make a recommendation of the award of the contract to the apparent low bidder, the most qualified and lowest bidder on the project. We would have a pre-construction meeting on May 20th. Again, that'd be a meeting that Scott and I would have, along with any representatives from the city who wants to attend, with the contractor that's awarded that. We would ask for a notice to proceed with construction on June 1. And substantial completion of the project will be done March 1 of 2021, and final completion April 1 of 2021. So I know there's a lot of dates, but what I'm asking for you tonight is to authorize us to get the advertisement down to Debbie so she can get it in the paper so we can receive bids on April 13th.
And we're under a timeline on that.
Yes, and this completes it about 3 months before we need, if everything goes good, we don't have a problem with Okra, we get a contractor that's responsive and gets the work done on time, we'll have it done prior to, I think, July 1 is when it's supposed to be done.
And I apologize, it didn't get on, I'm not sure how we missed it to get it on the regular minutes about agendas, but we had all these dates that's been floating around, and Debbie probably, we just overlooked it, we didn't get on there, so.
And all these dates have been reviewed with SIDC. What I'm holding is an email chain here. So they're aware of them, and we've got everything in.
So could we have a motion to go ahead and move? Yeah, Randy Emmons, Councilman Emmons made the motion.
I'll second it.
Okay, either Councilman Lunsford or Councilman Campton seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Thank you. I'll get the advertisement
Yeah.
down to Debbie.
As you've seen, there's a lot of dates there. We're gonna try to keep this process moving, and we still are looking at a June construction, you know, still by moving like this.
Right.
So appreciate that, thank you.
Richard, do you have plans after the meeting if somebody wants to look at them?
Yeah, I've got 2 sets here. I will also, when we mail them out, we'll send a notice, and I'll have a set here for the mayor and at his office, and also one at Scott's. But yeah, I have plans available. If you want to look at them, I'll be happy to stay afterwards and give you the quick preview of it. I have reviewed it with Scott numerous times, and also met with Mayor Wellman when it started last fall, and also with Mayor Rhodes when he became mayor. Councilman Dahl and I believe Chris have also seen the building, the floor plans, and what we're doing. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, do we have anything from out there in the audience that bring forth to the council? Okay, I just have a couple one comment, I'm assuming you've seen it, but we do have activity out there at Huck's. Starting about I think I seen it on Friday last week, and they were there again today, so that's a good thing. I just wanted to bring that up. Said finally, we got some activity going on. Okay, hearing that, oh yeah, Councilman Gress, you got anything else for the
Not yet.
good order?
No. I have nothing.
Tim?
Just real briefly, I just want to point out with regard to ordinance number 3, I met with the general counsel of IMPA on Wednesday and went over the original contract, the 3 previous amendments, in this amendment with him. And my understanding in having read through it, there's really just two changes, and one is the date that the contract terminates, and that's the 2050. And the other is that we have to give 30 years notice if we're opting out, and that's kind of a rolling date. So that's, and also at the next meeting, the 23rd, I will not be here. So that's why I wanted to also bring it up tonight. And if any of you have any questions about the ordinance, the original contract, or any of the amendments, get a hold of me before the 19th, and I'll get a copy of anything you want to look at prior to then. That's when I'll be leaving. And at the next meeting, Brian Brackemeyer from IMPA will be here to discuss it further. That's all I got.
You said it was 30 years, what was it before?
It was gonna be, well, yeah,
Actually, I think it was 25. It ended up being moved to 25 in the 2007 amendment, yeah. To 2042.
So that's how they're covering not having to come back if they need to borrow money, that's how it is.
Yeah.
Because they have to have a
It
30-year
helps for a
agreement.
rating.
Yeah.
and
Right,
stuff.
exactly.
And with
Yeah.
the Merrim and Gibson, I know they've got part of Gibson, that they're just looking ahead and trying to. Put it
you know, like I said, this would be an 8-year extension from what we had, and we just thought it'd be good, plus Tim got to read all that, and I didn't have to read it next meeting.
Well, we don't want to build
So,
I have
No.
I mean, to go along with that, I did mention to Tim before the meeting, since I'm the commissioner, I didn't think that it would affect me voting on it at all, because it's just like one little P in the big thing, so.
Yeah, besides you have no financial.
I have
yeah,
no
there's,
financial,
yeah,
nothing,
there's nothing financial
I
about
did
this whole
ask you
agreement.
beforehand, just to double check.
Yeah, okay. Aaron, okay. Kathy, you got anything?
I actually did forget something.
Okay, go ahead.
We did meet on the food truck ordinance on Friday, and we're gonna try to submit something eventually. But we did talk about the tertiary merchant ordinance too, so I think we're gonna suggest some changes to it also, but suggest a separate ordinance for mobile food vendors. I think is what we came up with, or something to that effect, so stay tuned.
Yeah, yeah, Alan looked at the ordinance, it's kind of way out of whack, and we thought we'd get it, because we're getting bigger and it's getting ready to go into effect, so we thought we'd bring it up to code. So, yeah, we'll have more on that soon. Okay, well, anybody else? Okay, this meeting's closed. 2020. We got the approval of the minutes for the February 24th, 2020 regular meeting.
Yes, I'll make a motion that we approve this.
Need a motion to approve. David seconds it. All in favors?
Aye.
Okay. Okay, we got a discussion of claims that's been presented to you.
I move we pay the bills.
Okay, Councilman Dahl makes a motion to approve and Nita seconds it. Well, motion to approve, all in favor, say aye. Okay, reading the bank statements and donations if we have any.
Yes, for the bank balances for the end of February is $30,071,424.67, and that includes $42,492.79 in interest for the month of February. Donations received for the month were $500 for SRO car wrap and $100 for the animal control.
Okay, very good, thank you. All right, discussion approval of a continuing disclosure undertaking agreement with Baker Tilly Municipal Advisors, LLC. Beth just wanted me to explain, this is, this agreement is for Baker Tilly does the work, and they file our Emma paperwork for the bonds and stuff, and this is all bond-related material that Baker Tilly does this for the clerk's department. And she wanted me to mention, if you had any questions about that, that's just, you know, they do all the work, and it's just agreement that all that bond work on the Highway 50 project.
I move we approve it.
Yeah, second.
Okay, I agree. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, very good, thank you. We got award the bids received on demolition and removal of all structures for the premises known at 303 State Road 57. And we advertised 2/7/214. We opened those bids last meeting, and we had 3 bids. And we had the building commissioner look them over and give his recommendation tonight to us. Go ahead, John.
It is my recommendation that we go with Rex Express and Sons out of here in Washington for the total of $6,000.
Okay. You know, like I said, you know, this is something we've been, this building, we've been trying to get down for a good while. We had a public hearing on it. We had them come forward on an initial hearing, and so it's, you know, it'd be a good thing to get this thing down. It's been well over a long period of time getting it done. Do I have a motion to approve this bid?
Yes, I'll make that motion.
Okay. Everybody, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. And then we're gonna open bids. Received for demolition removal of the structure on the premises known as 1705 North Street, Washington, Indiana, advertised 2/21 and 2/28/20.
We have one bid from Shiloh Excavating LLC. Nope.
No, it was late.
Oh, it was late, okay, I see that now, yeah. There's one from Weiniger Millworks and Construction here in Washington. Contains a properly executed non-collision affidavit. And the bid is scope of work, demolish structures on location of 1705 North Street, modular home, metal building, storm shelter trees, fill in any holes in seed and grass, total of $6,500. That's Weiniger Millworks. Next one is from Rex Grass and Sons. also contains a properly executed non-collision affidavit. The bid for machine, labor, and dump fees included, total $5,450. Express design. Okay, the next one is from Belpin Trucking and Disposal Company in Belpin. Also contains a properly executed non-collision affidavit. And Belpin Trucking and Disposal submits the following bid for the demolition of 101 Northeast 3rd Street. It's not the right address, is it?
No,
That's the clerk.
no.
I don't think we want that one torn down.
We're not planning on it. We haven't any plans on it. Somebody might be really surprised.
$7,200.
Yeah. So we'll,
This one is from B&H Excavation LLC. Plainville. Contains a properly executed non-collision affidavit. We hereby propose to furnish the equipment to remove all structures at 1705 North Street, Washington, Indiana, total $7,500. And this is Don Gress Construction, Washington. Contains a properly executed non-collision affidavit. As per your request, we propose to demolish and remove all structures at 1705 North Street for the sum of $4,750. All to be performed in accordance with the City of Washington demolition specifications. Is that all of them, or is there more?
There's a Robinson.
got a sidewalk.
Oh, here we go, okay, yeah. Robinson Excavation,
All right, to it.
Vincent, Indiana. Okay, it contains a non-collision affidavit properly executed. Demolition of existing structures at 1705 North Street, also known as Woodlawn Park Lots 56 and 758. Total of $9,995.
Okay. Any questions on these? I probably make a motion to get these back to the building commissioner and let him review them and come back next meeting with his recommendation.
I'd second that.
Okay. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Okay, very good. Next, we have open quotes received for our 2020 sidewalk and curb replacement program and general concrete work for the city of Washington, advertised on 2/13 and 2/20.
Looks like there's a couple here. Hard Rocks Concrete, Inc. It contains a properly executed non-collision affidavit. Let's see, sidewalk, 4-inch, $2.90, SFT, integral sidewalk and straight curb, 4-inch, $3.80 SFT. ADA curb ramp, 4-inch thickness, $3.65 SFT. Residential driveway crossing, 6-inch thickness, $2.90 SFT. Industrial commercial driveway crossing, 8-inch thickness, $2.90 SFT. Straight curb, $13 linear foot. Rolled curb and gutter, $12 a linear foot. Combined curb and gutter, $12 per linear foot. And standard lip gutter, $12 per linear foot. Okay, that was Hard Rock Concrete. This is Rivertown Construction LLC from Newburgh. Okay, contains a properly executed non-pollution affidavit. Okay, sidewalk 4-inch thickness, $2.85 SFT. Integral sidewalk and straight curb, 4 inches thickness, $3.75 SFT. ADA curb ramp, 4-inch thickness, $4.50 SFT. Residential driveway crossing, 6-inch thickness, $2.90 SFT. Industrial commercial driveway crossing, 8-inch thickness, $2.90 SFT. Straight curb, $13 linear foot. Road curb and gutter, $12.05 linear foot. Combined curb and gutter, $12.05 a linear foot. And standard lip gutter, $12.05 linear foot. And I believe that's it, sir.
Okay. There again, do you have any questions on these? I kind of, same motion to refer him to the building commissioner and let him come back to next meeting for his approval.
I second that.
I made the motion, Councilman Dawes seconds it. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, then we have discussion and approval of a request by Kip Kelly, Park Superintendent, for a one-way traveling south on 20th Century Drive to 4H Way. Kip, would you like to just explain that just a...
The road's only 12 foot wide. It's not wide enough for 2 cars. We've battled it for years. It's getting rutted out where 2 cars meet, they go over. We've actually had one that got hung up, had to be pulled out. It's quite a bit of a drop off too of the road. Cars are dragging. It's time. The road's not capable of handling 2 cars to there. And you've got a map there that shows the pink part going up would be the direction of your traffic. If they did come in from the back side of the park by the trailer park, they would just have to go up that way around to the Qantas cabin and back down.
Would we need any signage up
We'll put, yeah, well, I've talked to Brian about this. Brian was in an agreement with it that it should have never been a 2-way traffic in the first place, but, you know, we've battled it for years. It's just time to make it a one-way. And
There is the 2-way just for that little stretch there from Memorial Drive to 4H Way. But this, you know, this allow these trucks and stuff to get back to the 4H building. So these guys pull trailers. Sometimes they come in one, but they can still come in that direction. But that's all they can do is go to that 4H Way.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
I mean, because the road really narrows after you get past that. And,
it's really not wide enough even for a walker in a car, let alone 2 cars. So.
No, it's not.
No, you
Think
said
about that.
and it'll be a good safety feature after we're done. Like I said, we should have probably done this a long time ago.
I would move to approve that.
Yeah, I'll second.
Okay. Councilman Dahl makes a motion, Anita seconds it. All in favor, say aye.
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 Okay. And we have discussion approval of salary position changes in the fire department, water, and parks department. We'll do the fire department first.
Caught me nothing.
Well,
Here we go. Okay. Yeah, fire department, Steve Walton, requests the following salary changes. Robert Norton from captain at $14.23 per hour to battalion chief at $14.76 per hour. And Jeremy Newberry as firefighter from $12.93 per hour to captain at $14.23 per hour. And these changes would be effective March 21 of 2020.
Chief, you got anything to say about this?
At the time, Chief Rick Manley retired, and I'm looking people up to take his spot.
Yep. And this allowed, the new guy we swore in tonight, these changes allowed the spot open up for him.
Just more shuffleboard.
Yeah, we're just shuffling. Been doing a lot of that in the city, especially the fire department after I left and Rick left, so. I'll make a motion to approve this.
I'd second that.
Councilman Dahl, second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Thank you. Water department?
Right, this is a request from Charlie King. I request the following salary changes. Bryce Hamilton, job foreman at $19.76 per hour to distribution maintenance at $19.76 per hour. And James Lloyd from distribution maintenance at $19.76 per hour to job foreman at $20.01 per hour, effective date March 21 of 2020.
Charlie, go ahead.
Bryce Hamilton is planning on leaving soon, so just doing some switching, so to hire a new person into the distribution maintenance instead of the job foreman position.
Okay, and again, I'll make a motion to approve these salary changes.
I'd second that.
Second by Councilman Dahl. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. And last, the Parks Department.
All right, the request is from Kip Kelly. I request the following salary change. Stephen Lamb from park laborer at $8.83 per hour to park heavy equipment operator at $19.68 per hour, with the effective date being March 21 of 2020.
Okay, Kip,
Had a gentleman that quit, was my heavy equipment operator, and Steve's a equipment operator from the coal mine, so he's just moving up into that spot. Our new hire, he'll be a laborer.
yeah, Mitch Barber left. He went out to do some stuff at his home on his own, farm related, so he left, and we had these two changes we made. There again, we're gonna open up the spot for a new employee down the road here. You have a motion to approve this?
I'll approve that.
Okay.
Move to approve that.
I'll second.
David makes the motion, Anita seconds it, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay. That's all we got on the Board of Works. Anybody have any questions in the audience? Hearing none, I will call this meeting adjourned.